Work ghosted me and stopped giving me shifts. So I did the thing they hated most. Long-time viewer, first-time poster, but I recently told this story at my class, and one person said now that is petty revenge if I ever heard it, so I thought it's probably worth sharing here. So a while ago, I was working at a bistro in a pub. At this point, I'd been there for a few months and learned the entirety of my where I usually got put, register and dishes. I was hired as soon as our local lockdown was lifted, as the pub was expecting business to boom and have every man and his dog to come down. This was not the case. The pub was, and still is, lucky if it gets one busy night a fortnight. So, they had more staff members hired than they needed, and most nights I was working, I was just doing basic cleaning around the area, basic sanitizing, sometimes doing the same tables 3 or 4 times a day even though we had no customers come in. Of course, because of how slow business was, we would try to get all the cleaning done before clock off time so we could leave it close. One of our most hated things was when someone would come in 10 minutes before close and order food. Never do this to a place that serves food, you ruin their day. Because of this, the chef had a rule that no steaks could be thrown on 15 minutes before close. So, because of how slow business was, eventually I got let go. But, it's not that simple. I was not warned that I would be let go, or given notice. Instead, they just stopped giving me shifts, and the head chef, my manager, blocked my number and wouldn't answer my calls. I even called their number off a payphone to get them to answer, only for them to hang up when they heard my voice. Now, if I had have been given notice, or given warning that I should start looking for work elsewhere, I would have been upset, but understanding. I mean, business was slow and it was still the middle of the pandemic at the time. But because they chose this path, I was pissed. So, I hatched my revenge, by supporting my local pub. I started calling a few friends, and emailing others, asking them what they were doing on the next Thursday night. After asking and setting a time to head out on the following Thursday, I had a group of 14 people ready to join me in my revenge. Some arrived early, though they waited for the rest to turn up. We had all assembled and went up to order at 7:35 p.m, and the bistro closed at 8 p.m. All but 2 of us ordered a steak that was at least medium well, which would have pissed the chef off enough, but we each ordered a different sauce. All these sauces were made from scratch, so 6 different sauces that needed to be made from scratch and only 4 burners that were available. And the tip of the iceberg, I ordered not only a main, but I also ordered an entree, and a dessert, all of which to be bought out at different times. Meaning they had to wait until we finished our mains before they could bring out our dessert. Now that would have been enough to satisfy my petty spiteful side, but I specifically got everyone to go out on a Thursday night. Remember how I said the pub got one busy a fortnight? Well, at this time, the local football team was coming off of practice. And as we had lined up to order, they turned up behind us, and wouldn't you know it, the majority of them also ordered steaks with the surf and turf sauce. And because they lined up to order steaks before 7:45 p.m, pub closes at 8 p.m, the chef had to make them the steaks as well. They were still taking orders from everyone who lined up behind us at 8:15. And they didn't finish cooking orders until 9:40 at night. Around 9 p.m. after some of the football players sent their food back because they got the order wrong, the chef lost it and threw a fry pan across the kitchen. The stress they went through on one of their busiest nights brought a smile to my eye, and made the whiskey taste even sweeter. Steal my desk? Be annoyed for 30 seconds every day. In my last year of my industrial design degree, I scored a paid contract at the Australian government's scientific organisation. Although I was only in 2 to 3 days per week, I was shown into a large empty office and told I could base myself there. The office was normally used for students, but as I was the only one on this project, I had the whole office to myself, with about 6 desks. Naturally, the first task is to find the best desk and put it into the best position. Since I was going to be there for a while, I stuck some posters of my project on the wall behind my desk and even brought in some retro decor from home to add a little personality to my part of the boring brick cavern. All went well for a couple of weeks until a few other students moved into the room. Although our paths rarely crossed as they were working on other projects, two of them were perfectly reasonable and set themselves up on other desks. The third, who I will call Jerkwad, because that is probably his name, decided he liked my desk. I should point out that all of the desks were the same and mine had no better a view than anyone else's. Mine had my stationery on it, my posters on the wall around it, a clock, a telephone, all were mine. In fact, the telephone wasn't even plugged in, I just brought it in because it was an Erica phone and they look cool. So one day I come in and Jerkwad is sitting at my desk, while the other students were at their desks. My stuff was packed up and pushed to one side to make room for his stuff. I made some comment about it being my desk and his response was, "Yeah, I won't be here for long," or some other blow-off. To pursue it further would have made me look really petty in front of the others since all the other desks were the same. I set myself up at another desk that day, although over the next few days I could tell my stuff had been moved around and unless I got to the building by a certain time he would steal my desk again. Unfortunately for Jerkwad, one of the things I brought from home was a talking wizard talking calculator clock. It was a cheap gimmicky thing like you would see at the markets. Basically a black plastic box with a button. When you pressed the button, it would say it is 9:05 AM. When you opened the box there was a calculator, and when you pressed each button it would say the number, and read out the answer. Unluckily for Jerkwad, the clock also had an alarm. When you set it, it would say beep 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 it is 9:05 AM, beep 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 it is 9:05 AM, and would keep repeating this for 30 seconds very loudly. I set the alarm to go off mid-morning, put it in my desk drawer, and locked it. For extra pettiness I also changed it to the wrong time. They were sturdy desks. 1940s era, made from silky oak with inlaid green vinyl tops. It is not possible to dismantle them or open them with a different key. I then took the key home and didn't come back for another 3 working days. When I returned I sat at my desk, opened the drawer and turned the clock off before it could go off. When Jerkwad came in he saw me and said, "Can you turn that bloody clock off? There's something locked in the desk and it scares the out of me every day and won't shut up." I was about to smash the desk apart with an axe. I said something snarky like, "Sorry, it does sometimes go off when other people sit at my desk." He never stole my desk again. I gave a bag of coins as change to a rude customer who insulted me because I look too young to be a store manager. So earlier, the shop has an unexpected customer surge, and our paper bills for change ran out. Then, there is this customer who paid a 1,000 peso bill for a 600 peso item. Since we ran out of paper bills, I asked him if he has a smaller bill. He sneered and said the customer should not adjust the problem of the cashier. So I once again asked if he has a 100 peso bill, so I'll give him 500 peso bill. He got furious and screamed at me, saying he would like to speak to the manager. Well, I'm the manager. But he refused to believe that, saying I'm too young to be one. I'm 24, but I look much younger than my actual age because of, well, my Asian genes. Even after my employees confirm I'm the manager, he's still really doubtful. He even claimed the HR probably made a huge mistake of hiring me. I'm really offended at his remark, but I maintained my calm demeanor while silently planning for my petty revenge. I went under the cashier and grabbed a bag which contains packs of coins, with each pack containing 101 peso coin. I grabbed 4 packs and gave it to him. He was so horrified because that is heavy. He began verbally assaulting me, until the customers behind him got furious and asked him to leave already. He's still throwing a fit while the customer after him, and I laugh at his meltdown. Working as a store manager is not the best job ever, but petty revenge such as this gives me a short-term entertainment.